My beauty routine takes 5 minutes, but it took me years to build. The other day, one of my followers, Elsa, asked me about my makeup and what I use, etc., etc. And she even asked, Can you also give me tips on nighttime?" And at first I was like, is he serious or is he joking? Because I wasn't sure if it was a serious request because my content is not really about beauty. Well, kind of is, but not in that way. And so she's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm a brown girl from Asia, and I would love to hear your tips." And I'm like, "Okay, pinky promise. I will let you know when I do it." And so here I am. And as I was thinking about this, I was like, "Well, this is gonna be like a 2 second clip because there's not a lot to talk about." And because what I use, like the products that I use, I've been using that for the past decades. The same things over and over again. I literally have a huge bag with yeah, like supply, and I have it either shipped to the Netherlands when I'm there, or I buy it in the Netherlands when I'm there, and then I bring it back to Mexico. But I have all the same things. The foundation that I use is not makeup. The foundation that I use is the self-image that I've been building since I was a little kid. And it started when I was around 7, 8 years old. I went for a checkup, like a health checkup that every kid does in the Netherlands. And this guy who measured me was like, "You're overweight." And I'm like, "I'm what?" And it was like thunder hit me. Um, I was really like, "Oh my God, it's official. Like I'm overweight," because I didn't feel beautiful in my skin. My mom always called me the ugly duckling that turned into a swan. And I say that with so much love and respect because, every kid is beautiful. But I knew in my heart, even back then, like, this is not what I really want to look like. And luckily, I already had this inbuilt thing where I didn't, hurt myself with that. I just looked for a way to make it better. And so I took my breakfast very seriously. Instead of skipping it, I had breakfast. And, I never complained biking to school, for example. I saw it as exercise and all of that. And even as I got older, I realized that when I was making food for myself, that I didn't need that much food anymore, that I was losing weight naturally. And then I'm like, "Oh my God, my mom was the one." She's Indian and she would feed us. She's a feeder. That was her love language. But she would always put the food on our plates. And my dad had the rule of, you need to finish your meal. Like you're not allowed to throw food away. And so my mom put too much stuff on my plate, right? My dad forced us to eat it. And so I unconsciously have always been just eating more than what I needed. And as I was in my 20s living in my own house, I started to notice like, oh, I don't need that much. And sometimes you really want to eat a lot and sometimes you don't. So I just became an intuitive eater from the get-go, starting then and there, and always maintained my weight ever since. The thing that I also noticed reflecting back was I had this very, like, how you say, I was bullied for having solo lips. Like I had big lips, I had a big butt. If I would wear jeans, it didn't really fit well because it wouldn't cover my waist. And nowadays, like I'm wearing jeans now, coincidentally. So now it can really, it's a perfect shape. It can hold the butt and it still feels secure around the waist. I didn't have that. So I always had this huge gap. And it made me very self-aware because my mom, um, she has more like the skinny bone features. And then the kids at school had the same. But my dad is Caribbean. And so I have the Negro juices going on too, and that was so different from the people around me. So I really felt insecure in my body, insecure about my legs and those features. But the main thing too was I didn't like my nose. I didn't like my nose because I thought it was too wide. And luckily, even back then, I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna change that because I want to look in the mirror and just see myself. I was really haunted with the idea, like if I would ever change that, if I was so haunted with the idea of looking in the mirror and not recognizing myself anymore. And with that, I also mean my roots. With that, I also mean my dad, you know? And I'm so proud of her, that girl that I used to be, for already having that insight of I'm just gonna love on myself, in every phase. And it even went to the point where when I became a mom, I started to love on myself in that sense too, because your body is going to change, right? With the whole pregnancy thing. But it was the moment that I really started to trust my body even more. This is the foundation of why I wear the same makeup every day for years. And I have the exact same makeup as I wear during the daytime as I do during nighttime, because I have nothing else and I'm not interested in anything else. I remember when I launched Love Power Peace, it was like my visual diary. It was a blog. It was actually what I'm doing now, but back then, I think it was 2016 or 15 when I launched it. And I remember hiring this makeup artist and I asked her to do my makeup, and we didn't have a test run first. But I do remember clearly that I looked in the mirror and I couldn't really recognize myself. And I was like, too much makeup. I didn't like it. She had put on these eyelashes and very light concealer. And yeah, I just looked in the mirror and I'm like, okay, well, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not my preference. And I also experimented also back in the days with smoky eyes, and I loved it how it looked on other people, but for me it just looked so dark, and I felt like it made me look tired. And so I just embraced natural makeup early on. But the main point being, like, the foundation that I built, and you see that back in the minimalism of me just having a straightforward approach, is that I don't do trends. I don't do like 18 routines to stay young and beautiful, etc., etc. Because I never felt that I needed that. Because I really, in every phase of my life, just loved on me, and embraced who I am. And eventually my nose, I was a bit younger when I had that insecurity about it, but eventually my nose, it actually became more between my mom's nose and my dad's nose. So it changed naturally as well. And it's just who I am, and I love it, right? It's my roots. It's my identity. When I look at my nose, I see my dad, right? I could not even imagine changing anything about that. And all these beauty routines that we see nowadays with influencers, like those ASMR clips of, like, I even saw it with hands where they have like 18 products that they use just to take care of your hands. It completely, for me, is unattainable, and I think it's just a form of art for them because it's not realistic. Not the amount of products that they use, but also just even using products at all, you know, so heavenly. It's like we don't need a lot, guys. My beauty routine is 5 minutes because it's very minimal. Everything about my life is minimal. When I moved from the Netherlands to Mexico, I sold everything that I owned, and I really wanted to have that fresh start. And I live in houses that are made for expats, meaning it's already, like, the bed is not mine, it's already there. I have my own sheets and I do some stuff to make it more like me. But, like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like this cup. This cup is not mine. I would have never bought it. I actually made my own cup. I'm gonna pick that up in Tulum tomorrow. But it's like I just started to really enjoy the idea of not needing anything, because I am the foundation. I am the frequency that enhances the beauty. I went to this beautiful jungle party last weekend, and one of the ladies there was like, "You're so beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And she said, "How much time did it take you to get ready?" And I said, "5 minutes." And she looked at me, and she was laughing. She said, "Well, you've got this beautiful thing going on inside of you too." And now looking back, it was like she was already kind of introducing this episode. But if it wasn't for Elsa, I probably would not have. So thank you again, Elsa, because I think this is a story that women need to hear from all ages. Now I'm almost 41. I'm turning 41 in 3 months. I just realized that the other day. And I'm like, I look so young. And yeah, you can say it's my roots. You can say, it's um, that I got lucky. But I know it's my foundation. I know it's the self-love, the self-respect, the complete surrendering to who I am, my futures, my roots, everything. To be laughed at having Sulu lips at school, and now ladies paying so much money, putting stuff in their bodies that they don't know what will happen, in a few years' time, um, is weird to me. Like even with my butt too, like apparently that's a trend now. Maybe next year is going to be the heroine model look again, where everybody needs to be skinny. I'm like, I am not doing trends because I am who I am. And I think that is the beauty frequency. It's like I completely love on me and what works for me. And this is for you guys to pick and love on you and do what works for you and your body type and your futures. And I don't have an opinion about people using whatever they use. I just don't do it myself. And I like that. I like that effortlessness. I like going to the closet and not having 20 freaking shoes to pick from because I don't have 20 shoes anymore. I used to have that. I don't anymore. And I like it that way. And it doesn't, and it's not going to change because I like that simplicity. And I really love loving on my clothes. I really love, um, like mismatching and doing different things with it. And yesterday I even went shopping. So it's not that I have anything against shopping. I haven't shopped for a long time though, and I really needed some extra clothes because it's pretty chilly now here in this end of Mexico, and I didn't have a lot of warm clothes. And so I went with a friend and we had an amazing time. But even then, I'm like, I love getting new stuff. But right after this episode, I'm going to my fashion course and I'm going to create a new piece of a dress that I haven't been wearing since I bought it, basically. I wore it one day, and that was it because I just didn't really like it. And now I'm just going to breathe new life into it. But the true foundation is I love on me so much. I am so secure within myself. From here, I can really be who I am, and that's the real beauty that they see. But because I promised her to showcase because she's a brown skinned girl just like me. And yeah, I will not gatekeep. I will show you what I have. So, like I said, I have a lot of stuff that I buy in bulk, and I have like a few brands that I love that I always use. And so what you see me doing here is getting a few of these items out to show you this is how I work. So these are all the same lipstick brands, same color. I buy them all at the same time. This is my this store is really amazing. So this brand is called Girl Lactic, and it's called Push, this color. I found this brand when I was visiting New York to see my boyfriend. This is what it looks like. To see my boyfriend. Can you see it? Galactic. There's so much shine on it. And I was in one of the, it wasn't Sephora, but it was one of those shops. And I tried it on. I fell in love. And I'm like, okay, this is my nude tone. Guys, 15 years ago or something, maybe longer, that I'm using this brand. And it's only in the States. So I have to order it and then I ship it to the Netherlands. And then when I'm there, I just pick it up. And same thing here. This one is pretty new. So this one I use over the long lasting lipstick because it's a long lasting lipstick. If I want to have more like a coral tone. And I love this brand because it is very soft, but the only bad thing is it leaves the lipstick on stuff. This one, no. This one you can wear the whole day and it's not gonna stick on your, when you drink something, it's not gonna stick anywhere. This one, yes. So if you kiss, not handy. Oh, wait, this is the Powder Puff Lippy from NYX. I found this one at ASOS. And I've been loving on it ever since. Then I don't use foundation, but I do use concealer now that I'm a mom. If I have bad sleep or whatever, if I'm tired, this is a game changer. I've been using MAC um, really long too. They changed the formula over the years. So now it's like a 24-hour studio fix, it's called. But yeah, I buy that in bulk too. I don't need a lot of this in bulk, but I always have something extra. And then I have the eyeliner, and I use Kiko. This is the Definition Waterproof Eyeliner. This is the one still new. And what I love about this is that it really stays on the whole day. And yeah, I've been doing my eyeliner for so long that I'm just really good in it. So I don't need anything to be able to make that line. Um, it's the best. Never cheating on this one. Like it's the best and it's so cheap. Like most of my products are really cheap. Like I don't spend a lot of money on my products. Talking about cheap. So we have this Sephora in Holland called Kruidvat. It's also in Belgium. And they sell the best pencils. And I use this pencil for my under eye. And it's very, oh my God, I'm so not an influencer this way, guys. So bear with me, okay? But this is called Catrice Cosmetics. I think it's like €3. You put it under your eye. I have a lot of it because, once it's done, it's done. And I don't want to buy stuff here in Mexico. I just know what works, And I also have this one, which is like for your eyebrows. Sometimes I buy the big one. It's also from the same brand. Oh no, this one is Essence. Is I have very good eyebrows, but sometimes I wanna, enhance it a little bit, like these sides. Also like $3, and it's very similar, but I think I made a mistake with this one that I bought brown instead of black. Now that I look at it. Anyway, and then what I do for my cheeks is I use the NYX on my cheeks as well, and then I blush it out, and then I have my blush. So as you can tell, it takes literally 5 minutes. And this one, I don't always use mascara. This is also from the Kruidvat, also Essence. Every year, I just buy whatever I see. But yeah, a very basic thing when it comes to makeup. And yeah, I do the same for nighttime. If I go out, it's the same thing. I do the same thing with my hair even. Like the other day I showed you guys a picture of when I turned 40, and I someone called. When I turned 40, I asked my neighbor who was down the block, he's a photographer. I asked him, hey, can you make a picture for me? Because I'm going for my birthday dinner with my friends to Tulum. And then he showed up, and we went all the way to the rooftop because that part was still being built. And I loved that the feel of it. And so anyway, I did a photo shoot. But because it's really warm here, my birthday is in May. So by the time I was upstairs, it was already curling up because naturally I have curls. And people thought that I really had my hair done and no, I did nothing. I just like had a straightener in it. The humidity curled it a little bit, 5-minute makeup, and that was it, like easy peasy lemon squeezy. The whole message of this, apart from showing Elsa and all other brown skinned girls that want to see how you can have a beautiful natural look, daily look, is this. The real foundation is how you look at yourself, is embracing your own features, is loving on yourself throughout all those insecurities. And looking back, I'm very proud of the little girl me that, didn't change her features, that embraced it, that didn't hurt herself. Like a lot of girls, they starve themselves or anything. I never did that, thank God. Um, and instead, I did this. And I really feel that this is also a big reason why I am almost 41 and I still look very young. Is that true love essence, is that beauty frequency of embracing every part of me. And I really want to tell more about that part in the next episode. So you will hear from me tomorrow, more on that. Thanks for watching. Bye.